Hey folks, welcome back to the village. Today we're out in the garage. Going to be working on a simple cabinet build out here for some little shop cabinets we're going to put across the front of the garage. Of course, I'm out in the garage, as you can see. Probably wondering why I'm wearing so many clothes. Here in Nebraska, weather doesn't follow the calendar very well, and it decided enough of this nice fall-like weather, we're going to kick some winter weather in on you. And they were sitting at 22 to feel like a 16, so consequently out in the garage, it's still a little chilly. We're working with, for the cabinets, we're going to use this 3/4 inch plywood. That's going to be give our box, and this is going to be a simplified design. Usually you see designs are going to have, with a little, it's kind of like the shape of Utah. It's going to have a little square with a piece come down for the kick panel. This doesn't use that type of design. It's going to be a square box essentially. And then we're going to come back and use 2x4s just to construct a simple box. It'll go on the ground, right up against the wall, and then our box is going to sit on top of that. And then it'll be smaller than the box, so it'll give us that little space. It'll create that, essentially that kick panel that you normally create by using that little piece. It just simplifies the thing. You don't have to cut that little thing. You're just making simple boxes, sturdily connect them together with good screws, and putting them together. And of course, once the box is together, it's going to sit on this. It'll be screwed to this, and then it'll be screwed to the studs on the wall. So it just all makes it nice and sturdy, and again, simple. The whole thing with this is simple. Not going to be fancy. Not going to have any it's just going to get painted. It's out in the garage. So that's what we're going to start working on. I'm going to get these 2x4s out here. We're going to get them all laid out and marked for size. And then we're going to open the garage door outside and cut them in the frozen tundra. So let me get this going and we'll come back in a second, folks. Okay, we got our pieces cut down. These two cross members are 19 5/8 crossed. We got our 246s. It'll come out 21 inches total, our box. Our actual cabinets themselves are going to be 30 by 24. So they give us about 3 inches overhang to give our little kicker action. And all the kicker serves that purpose so you can get your feet closer while you're working on top. That's all a kick panel serves the purpose of. So basically, I'm going to line these up, put these together. We're using, I like to overkill everything. These are 3.5 inch number 10 construction screws. Just going to go back and put 2 on each corner. Should be more than enough to hold this pretty sturdily. So we're just going to come square these up. Take the gloves off. It's a little hard to work with them. Okay. I think these will be plenty sufficient to hold this together. Actually, I'm going to take this and make it simpler. Think of laying down. I think it'd be simpler laying down. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. There you go, there's one in there. These guys. You don't really have to about these 2x4s. It's pretty soft wood. You don't have to worry about it splitting so much with these. I mean, it can, but I'm not going to worry about it. It does split a little, it splits. unfortunate part, if you bought wood at a home improvement store lately, it's hard to find straight pieces of wood, so consequently, it's never going to be perfectly square or perfectly straight. It's the unfortunate thing about the crappy lumber you get nowadays. That'll be our box that goes on the ground that's going to, create our base and our kicker panel. So again, our boxes will be built and we're going to set them right on top. They'll hang over just about to here probably. And that gives you that little part where your feet can go in, that little kick panel. So we'll put this off to the side. I'm going to go over and measure up on the piece of plywood, or actually this one here that I use as a table. Again, we're going to cut these 30 inches top to bottom. And then I'm going to split it down the middle so I can create two 24-inch panels. And those are going to be the sides of our box. So let me go ahead and get that marked up. And we'll get everything marked up so we can go out in the frozen tundra again and cut everything. Then we'll come back in and start putting stuff together. Okay, folks, we're back. You can see what I created here. I got my base. I have my two side pieces. I have my two top boards. They're going to span the top. This is going to be a full piece. That's got two separate pieces. Judging by the width of it, I'm going to look when I get up there. I think what I'm going to do, which you don't normally have to do, is I'm going to add back a 2x4 here in the middle, just to give it a little more strength across the top. Not supposed to, but then this is standardly, you're not going to, the standard size wise, you're not going to build them this 46 inches wide, but I have a space where I want to just span one, and later on add another one and butt up against it. So consequently, this one's going to be a little wider than normal. I'm just going to stand them up on the end here on the floor instead of working up on top there. I think it's a little easier, but just standing up on the end, you can line it up a little better. And again, because everything, unfortunately nowadays, is nice and warped. This piece has a nice warp in it. We're just going to stand it up, square everything up. I'm going to take the square and put it in the corner just to kind of see where I'm at. And then I'm going to take the wood glue and just run a line down the edge of the wood there. And then I'm going to take these number 8 1¼ inch construction screws and just run them down the length of the panel. I think it should be a little, if I had some 1.5", I would use them. I don't have any 1.5", unfortunately. 1¼ should be fine with the glue on there. I think it's going to hold it enough. Instead of, I might put 6 in here, I'm going to put 8 or 10 of them in here just to get a little more strength. So that's basically all we're going to do. We're going to start putting this thing together, see how this works. Let's see if my GoPro there wants to stay on. Hopefully, I'm hoping the glue. I didn't even check this. See how it is. No, it's not bad. I thought it might be kind of thick because it's cold out today, but it seems fine. The garage isn't quite as cold as outside, so I'm just going to run a line up and down. Just give me a little more strength. Come back. And unfortunately, this panel on the bottom has, looking at me, it's kind of like this. So we're going to try to work with that warp instead of against it. Use a square to make sure we're where we should be. It's kind of, again, tough to see because this panel on the bottom is kind of this way. Pretty close right there. panel being warped, this makes us a little tricky. That's pretty flush right there. And believe it or not, we're actually pretty square right there. So then I'll come up here and I'll start up at the corner and I'll move that board so it's not where it should be. I'm actually gonna start this screw first. Easier said than done when you got cold fingers. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this one in started. Don't think they're gonna split, but we're gonna see real fast. I was afraid of that. Yeah, it's pretty flush. We'll line this bottom one up. Again, we'll check square. And what I'm gonna go down is tack the bottom in first. And we're right on square wise. We'll just come down here to the bottom and tack one in. You're probably thinking, probably a lot easier with nails. And I thought about that too, but I'm a big fan of screws. You can take them back out, put them back in if you want. You want to switch something, modify something, so. This is kicking my blood. Pretty good. Again, I want to work a little quicker now and get these others in because, not just because the glue's on it, well, it is because the glue's on there. And now I got it square, I don't want it to move. So I'm just going to space these out about, probably about every 4 inches. Still want to start today. Ah, kicking my butt. There we go. Check my square again. I'm pretty good actually. Not that critical right now, we're just doing the one side. That should cinch. I want to make sure I get it down enough that that glue makes contact. So I'm actually going to go in that. Another one, this top one didn't really. Not the best way to put it together what I'm doing here, but look with what you got. Split a little. That's not too bad. I think what I am going to do though, I'm going to go back here since this has got this warp in it and just some more glue in there. Does that make sure that when I do cinch it up, it makes good contact. And we'll come back with I'll come back with a paper towel and hit all those edges. Come back down towards the bottom and put one in. And it's cracking out. Do that one. Shadows in here don't help either, especially when you're old and don't see so good. Much better. And that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to work up and down until I get this all in here, and I'll come back with a wet paper towel and wipe all that glue off. I'll put my other end on. We'll make sure that one's good and square like this one is, and that'll make our box top go on a lot better. The big thing is cut straight as possible, things squared up as best possible, because once you get the cabinets up there, if they're crooked, they're gonna look bad and they're not gonna work well, especially if you go to put doors on and so forth. So consequently, we're gonna go get this, these two side panels put on, and we'll come back and we'll show where we're at, and then we'll probably flip it over. I'm not sure, might just keep it on the side and put that top one across on. So let me go ahead and finish this up, and then we'll come back and we'll show you what we got going on. Okay, now you can see we got the sides on. Went back and checked everything. Everything was real square, real nice. It's out a little, but what we're going to do is I'm going to come up here, and I've cut the boards that are going to span the top. There's going to be one in the back, and one in the front. It's not going to be a solid piece like the other side. It's going to be these separate pieces here. And again, one will go down here at the bottom. Again, we'll square that up good. We'll glue that and screw that. It's got a little warp in it. I think I'm going to work this way on that board because of that warp. If you're looking closely, there is a little screw up here. Got a new straight edge, thought I'd try it out today. Got it hard freight, it sucks. Don't like it going back. Not gonna worry, it's gonna be in the middle here. It won't affect anything, won't even barely see it. Probably be up against the other cabinet. So that'll go across there. Same thing, here's another one, cut the same line, 46 and a 3/4. And this one will slide in here and then be glued and screwed in between there. And that'll support, again, like I said, I'm gonna run a 2x4 down between here and the back. Just get a little more support on this going across, since it's a pretty good span here. And that way have another place to attach hinges and so forth with doors. So I'm gonna glue that, put some glue on both ends of that, and I'm gonna put those, I'm gonna put glue on both ends, just like this. Make sure they're square, glue those up, screw those in, and I think we'll be good on that. And then we'll take a measurement, make sure everything's nice and square, and then we're gonna cut the masonite over here. Let's see, spin you over here. I call it masonite, it's a brand hardboard, and we're just gonna cut it to fit the back panel side of it. And then we're gonna take it, I'm gonna take a brad nailer, like the same thing, we're just gonna put a line of glue along the edge. We'll throw that on there, and with the brad nailer, we're just gonna come hit some brads on there. That'll just give it, just kind of square it up and give it some rigidity to the old box. And then we're gonna show you how we're gonna make this little support in here. And this slide idea we got here that I got from somebody online using the masonite also, it'll be the bottom of our drawer, and it'll also be part of our slide. We don't have to use any complicated hardware, again, making it less expensive and less things that could go wrong. So let me go ahead and finish these up, and then we'll come back and cut this and get that put on. Okay, now you can see I got the basic box put together. Again, it's gonna have a little play in it because it is so wide, but again, that's why I'm gonna go back and add a 2x4 down the center on the front and the back, just to give it a little more, you know, support, because it is so wide. And like these boards here should only, you know, be like 4-inch boards, but I went ahead and just split the piece I had and put 2 wider boards, just get a little more nailing area and stuff like that when you put a top on it. So that's where we're at right now. So basically, to show you what it's going to look like, your 2x4 base there that's going to create your kicker. To give you an idea. This is going to go on top. That'll be squared up with the back of this box, roughly like that. And that's going to give you that little space in there for your kicker. Let's see if you can see that well. I'll move it back a little bit. I was a little too close. See, now we have it on the base. And what that overhang is, it's squared up, this backside is squared up against the 2x4 base. That's going to give you that little space in between here that creates that kicker that normally you would cut into the side panel, and just simplifies this, making a box. So there you go, boom, like this. So So again, I like that design, but like I said, we're gonna go back and add that 2x4 just for a little more strength, and just another area where if I wanted to mount the hinges that way, take that, I'll probably mount them on the outside. But anyways, I want to put that in for more strength also. And it's going to have double, 2 doors. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a drawer on both sides or if I'm just going to put one drawer in. I haven't decided yet. Kind of still up in the air. Things kind of go as we go along, kind of make up as we go with stuff like that. Again, I was going to make it 46, but I did flip the plywood sideways and did my measurement. So it ended up being 48, so it's a couple inches longer than I wanted it to be. A little wider than my base, but I'm not worried about that. That's not a big deal at all. So consequently, when we get it in place, that base will go in there. This will get screwed down to the base. And then once we put the back on, we'll take and screw through the back into the studs, and that will give it a little more strength too, and keep it from pull away from the wall. So I'm gonna get those 2x4s cut, and we'll get those put in and get those screwed in. And that's probably what we're gonna do for today. I don't know if we're gonna go much further. I can't because I didn't account for a larger size. So I don't have a wide enough piece of plywood for the doors, I don't believe. I have to check out my back and see if I have any out my shed. So for now, that's where we're gonna be. Let me go ahead and cut those 2x4s and we'll put those in. We'll show you what that looks like when we get that in there, give you an idea. We basically got the carcass of the box done. And the supports in there. It's a little off. It looks a little off on the squareness when you look at it, but that's just because that bottom board's got a warp in it. That bottom board's got a warp in it, so it's going to look a little off because of that. And this board here has a little warp in it. So if you look at it with the square and press down, it's actually right on the money. So that's the big thing. If you get the boards square and then get them put together square, it's going to create a nice square box, and it's going to be easier to nail things on, put stuff on, and it's not going to look like it's all cockeyed. So let me go ahead and get that 2x4 cut, and we'll get that put on. Okay, you can see I've added my 2x4s back in. You just see how much more rigid the structure is now. You use 2-inch number 10 construction screws to put this in on the bottom and the top. Just tighten that up a little bit, probably over the top, but I like to do that. Did the same thing on the back side. Made sure, again, critical to make everything look good and work correctly. Went through and checked as I went to make sure everything was nice and square. So that's the big thing. So everything is good and square. I'm going to lay it down. This is the front lay down space, and now we have my masonite back here that I cut. We're going to put that on. Actually, let's just go ahead and take this off of here. Let's move bring this over. I'm going to lay it down on its face. And this is our section of masonite or hardboard, whatever you want to call it, that I've cut down to size. And like I said, I'm going to do just like I do everything else. I'm going to come back and run a line of glue down all these seams, and then I'm going to line it up, and we're going to take the brad nailer and just shoot some brads along the edge down the 2x in the middle, and that's just going to give it a little more strength and give it back to the cabinets, of course. So let me go ahead and do that and get that glue put on, and then we'll come back and we'll show you how we're going to nail this bad boy on. Got it up there, I changed my mind. I'm going to go with the stapler for the backing, and I'm going to use the T50. These are a 3/8 10 millimeter. I think it's just going to give it a little bit better hold. So that's what we're going to put this on with. I've already spread all the glue out. I'm just going to reload this thing. Going to go right along the edge of that plywood and just put the staple. I don't know if they're going to go in. And that's my only thing I was worried about. The staples might not go I might reconsider with the nailer. I don't really like to go in real flush, because that was the only concern I had. I'm going to try a brad just to kind of see the difference in a brad. Problem with the brad is, I think I only have inch and a half. I'm going to try an inch. See what these work. See what I think. Sure. He doesn't want to go in. Alright. Trying to figure out why the nailer doesn't want to. There we go. Alright, let's try this. Compare the two and see which one I like better. Okay, let's see. These are 1 inch brad. See, the problem with that is I think it's going to go through too far. Dial it back a little. Not really. See, I think that goes through too far. Let's see, I'm going to try it around a corner where I can try to test pulling it back up. Actually, no. I think it might be alright. I think I might just go with the brads. It's unfortunate the stapler doesn't put enough pressure to get them all the way in. I don't think I get a lot of bite on them. Again, they're only a 3/8, which, as you can see, is that big. So it's not going to be very far into the masonite or the hardboard. So I'm going to go ahead and try the nailer with the 1 inch brads and see how that works. I think it might be all right. Unfortunately, as I start doing this, my compressor's going to come on, so you're going to hear a lot of racket probably pretty soon. Now, it just looks to me like going through too far where it's not biting. Don't think I can adjust. Oh yeah, I can. I just don't use the nailer very often. I don't even remember how to adjust it. Let's see. I'm just going to keep going with this. I think it'll be all right. we got a cord about here. Sorry. Come in a little bit. Crossed. That's gonna work. Seems like it's holding pretty good. I think we're just gonna go with that. I don't think it's gonna move. The glue's kind of sticking down and that's pressing the glue in, so I think we should be good. Set it back up. Take a look. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. And again, that's what your basic carcass of the thing is. I mean, now you can see now you got these guys in here and you got the backing on. Now look how tight your thing has gotten, your box has gotten plenty sturdy enough. And again, once we place it on the base, it's going to be attached to the base, which will be attached to the studs in the wall, as well as the base being attached to the bottom of the box itself. Now let's go back up on the box and kind of show you what it looks like again. Again, we're going to line that up with the back of the box, like that. And that's basically, let's see, how does that look on the camera? Kind of close. There you go. So there you go, now you can kind of see your base giving you that kicker again. And that'll be attached, this will be attached to the base, and the base will be attached to the wall, and then I'll mark the studs and we'll come back and we'll run some studs up, some screws through this into the studs. That way it's gonna firm up everything real good. I would work on the doors, but I don't think I have to get another sheet of plywood to do that. I don't think I have enough out in the thing. I have to check still. I'm also gonna come back in here, I think. I'm gonna run 2 different drawers, one on each side up here, and then have my doors down here. So I'm going to so I have a place to attach my rail. I'm gonna come back in here and I'm gonna attach some 1x2s across here, one on each side, so I can have an attachment point for my rail. I'll have this, of course, on this side. This will give me someplace on that way to attach my railing. So I'm gonna go out the shed and check for that plywood to see if I have stuff for the doors, which I might, I'm not sure. And then we're gonna check to see about that 1x and bring those out. We'll cut those to size, put those in, and that again, that'll just give us another. I just might just take another. Well, I think I'm just changing my mind right now. I'm just gonna put a 2x4 across. It gives me a more mailing surface, and that'll firm things up a little bit even more. So let me go out the shed and check, and we'll come back and see what we got. I went ahead and put the runners that are gonna be for our drawer slides. Just took a couple pieces of 1x2 and cut it down into 1x4 and cut it into 1x2s, my bad. And just taken those and placed those up along here. And I've taken this hardboard masonite that I'm using here, and this is what's gonna use for our slides. These are gonna go in here, and we're gonna take and put the glue on these and glue these down to the slide rails here with this shiny side up. And that's going to give the ability for the drawers to, the bottom drawer will be also made out of the masonite. So it's just going to sit on there and slide. So it's just going to create a easy, simple, inexpensive slide type thing. This I've already put on here. I just got the clamps up, put some glue on there. I've just got that on there to make sure it sticks down real good. I don't want to put any nails or anything through it. That's going to be something that can, catch on. So we're just simply going to glue them down. That will go down there along the rail like that, like you see over here. And then with a bigger one, will go up along here, and that's going to create that little L-shaped area that's gonna comprise our rail. So that's really all we're gonna do with that. And we'll come back and make those boxes, simple boxes with the drawers. The bottom again will be that hardboard masonite type material. And then we'll just take and put them in. Then we'll just measure out a piece of plywood at the front and make and create our faceplate for our drawers. Of course, we got to come back, and I found a piece of plywood that I have in there that'll work real nice for our doors. We'll cut those down. Again, simple. Again, I'm not going to do any fancy hinges. We're just coming back with these 2.5 inch removable pin type hinges, which will just, you know, be placed on here, door on there, simple, just open and close. I'm gonna get some little things to put on here and then put on the door so it'll catch, maybe magnetic, I'm not sure yet. And that's all we're gonna use. We're keeping it pretty simple and pretty inexpensive. Yeah, so that's really what we're working on. So I think what I'm gonna do today is I'm not gonna finish it. I'm gonna go ahead and put these other rails on the other side. You can see here, I haven't got them over here yet. I'm gonna go ahead and put those on, get those in place. And I'm gonna clean up and call it a day for today. I call it done for the day. Got some other stuff I need to get done. But yeah, again, not too hard. It's all about being simple and easy and sturdy and you know, well done and not spending a fortune. Also, once I get done with everything, I'll sand everything and it's gonna get painted too. I'm not just gonna just leave it like this so it'll look nice before I put it in place. But that's it for now. So let me go ahead and get that on there, and then we'll probably do like a part 2, you know, the next day or two, maybe Sunday. And we'll come in and we'll get this all finished up. I probably won't get it in place. I might slide it over in place, not, you know, put everything down, because I don't know what I'm gonna use for the top yet. So yeah, I might just go back with just like a nice piece of hardboard type plywood on the top to finish it, to make it look nicer, and use the top and just polyurethane it and seal it. I'm not sure. I'm thinking that's what I'm leaning towards. But let me go ahead and get this on here, and then we'll, like I said, we'll do that part 2 and we'll finish this thing up. Hey folks, welcome back. Been still doing a little more work on this. As you can see, I'm working on the slides that we're making here. Get you in there a little bit closer. And as you can see, what we're basically doing is that hardboard material is coming in here in an L shape, 2 pieces. I'm gluing this down here and this will glue here. You're not screwing and nailing them on because this will mushroom out, and you don't want that mushroom out. Then it's gonna make bumps in there that are gonna catch the drawer. And again, what's gonna be on the bottom of that drawer is gonna be the same material. So the drawer is gonna sit here on this piece and sliding up against this and this. So that's gonna allow it to slide in without any other type of hardware or slides or anything. Again, got this one glued, working on this one, got this piece glued. Came up with this to glue this. I think this is gonna work to glue both these pieces at once. I have the clamps pressed against to hold this, and then clamp down to hold this. So we'll see if that works good. And then we're gonna come over here and do this other one on this side. I've already ripped off the pieces for the drawer. I'm gonna start working on building those drawers. Basically, again, same thing. It's gonna be a nice box. You know, 2 pieces, another piece on the other end, butted together, screwed together, and make it nice and square. Flip it over, and then we'll take that masonite material. We'll measure it. We'll put that on the back again with a nailer. We'll nail that on the drawer, and that'll give the bottom of the drawer. And then we'll take the drawer and slide it in here, and then we can line up our faceplate later on for the front of our drawer. But then again, what'll be once we get the doors on here for the cabinet itself. I put this in down here. I don't know if you can see this. This here, this is going to be part of, I'm decided to make in the back here. I'm trying to get you in there. I decided back here to make you can see the bracket over here and this piece here are on the same height. It's going to go across here, and then it's going to have a shelf, probably come out about 12 inches, 10 to 12 inches off the back here to have a little shelf back there. I might do the same over there too. Just, you know, not wasting all that space where you can put it under. It'll just give you a little space underneath the bottom of the drawer here. So I just screwed that on there and just screwed it in here and then toenailed it in and then toenailed it over there to keep it in there nice and even, since it's just a 1x2, 2x2 actually. So that's all that is. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go through and get these all in place and glued. I'll cut the boards for the drawer and we'll come back and we'll show you how we're gonna put those drawers together. It's pretty simple. Okay, we got all our pieces cut in here now, so now we're just basically putting together our little boxes. Let me get my square here, I forgot. Key again, making sure everything's good and squared up. Because if your drawer is crooked and you try to put it in that opening, it's not gonna work. So I just like to lay the square down. We'll butt the boards up. What I'm putting together today with is this is a number 6 1 1/4 cabinet, painted cabinet screw. Basically looks like that guy. It's a square bit type screw. What we're gonna do too, we're gonna come back again and just take and put some glue on the ends. Just get a little more strength when you put it together. Again, just gonna butt that up. Make sure that's level as it can be. Take our square and put it inside there, make sure we got it pretty square. I'm gonna come back with, go ahead and get this started. Easy enough for me to do. What I don't like about these screws, they're not a self-tapper, so you kind of got to force them to get them going. The surface of this thing isn't very even, so in turn I'm like struggling to get it to square up nice. It's sitting down a little bit too. What I'll do is bring it up like this. Go ahead. Make sure it's good and square there. The way that moved. We'll do that. One sec, I gotta grab something real quick. Okay, I've got this corner together. Just figured out with these painted screws, I forgot they're gonna stick out a little bit. They're gonna probably rub here, so I'm going ahead and countersinking in a little bit. I'm gonna go back and fix this one too. So all I'm doing is taking, I forget the size bit this is. So it's just about a little bit bigger than the head on the pan heads. And I'm just kind of lining up where I'm going to put the screw in. And just drilling like about a 16 inch hole. And then they're coming back with the painted screw. Center it up. Again, I got my square in here to make sure we're all straight there. Just don't like the way those screws are moving. Not exactly how I want it, but it's pretty close. Again, make sure that's square. Not perfect, but it's good. come back here and come down here. Make this like little hole there. Come back with our screw. Nice and square there. Right on the money there. Come back, check this. That's right on the money. That's pretty much it. You're just putting a box together. Again, the simplicity of the design is the beauty of it. You know, nothing is complex angles, complex cuts, none of that with this. No complex mechanisms. Back here. Should square up pretty good. Boards do have a little bit of a warp in them. That's fine though. Again, I'm putting glue on each board end. Just give it a little more strength. Maybe put it on. No, wait. We'll do it. Don't have that much play in it, so I'm gonna put the glue on it now. Come back here. Put that in there. That looks real good. Get some of this crap out of the way. These are all the, drop some of the screws. These are all the pieces from my other drawer. Come back here and drill our little hole for our counter. We're going to drill together one right now. Just allows that head to sink in a little bit so it's not sticking out, so it's not running. I don't like these screws, they don't tap very good. Kicking my butt. Up. Make sure it's flush there. With our square. She's flushed up or down there. I'll give it a left. Too bad. Make sure this is did kind of move a little bit on me. We're gonna go down here and knock this other one out on this end first. Nice. Back check my squareness. It's pretty damn close. Another one down here. here, it'll push itself out a bit. Want to make sure they're as flush as possible. Pretty good. I think I might back this one back out and realign it. It's a little off. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Pretty dang good. Yeah. I don't think I'm gonna back that one out and check it out though. Again, if you want to check to see on the squareness, another thing you can do too is you can measure from corner to corner, and if that's the same measurement, that's how you can tell your squareness. It should be the same measurement from corner to corner, and right now, let's hat off. About 1/8 off. I haven't got this on yet, but that's not a big deal. So that way we can take and we can go back, and once we get it on there, we can move it a little to square it up and check that squareness. And it should be the same measurement from corner to corner if it's square. We want to make sure it's square. When we cut the back, as long as that's square, then we can take that and put that on off one edge and tack it on, and that way as we tack the other side, that's going to ensure that squareness also. So that's it. So we'll get this done, then we'll get the other drawer put together, and then we'll get some of that backing cut and get that back put on the drawer. So we got our drawers here. Cut the masonite for the back to size. Now I'm going to come back here. We'll run a line of glue around the base first. And then we're going to take the nailer, the brad nailer, and put some 1-inch brads in it. I'm going to try, probably open this first. Just put a run of this around just to make it stick a little bit. Just give a little more strength. Don't need a lot of it, really. So now we got that on there. Gonna come back with a piece of masonite and just try to line it up and get it as square as possible. A little update on what we got going on. Did film a lot, kind of breaking this up. This has been going on project for about 3 weekends. So again, haven't filmed as good as I should have been. They got a point now where we have our box, we got our drawers in there, put on our doors today, put the magnetic, stays on here, so when you slam them, they stick. Those on both of them. Again, you saw how we did the drawers with the slides. I don't have the face plates on them yet, but just to give you an idea, using that masonite on the base and then our little slides, there you don't have to have any fancy hardware. It keeps the price down, and you have a drawer that slides in and out nice without having expensive runners or anything like that to put in. So, and we'll come back and I'm going to cut it. We'll cut 2 pieces, and then I'll screw onto this box, and then I'll make it level with this to the face of the drawers. Where'd the piece of plywood go? Here we go. So see, those will go on the front like that and be screwed on. There'll be a gap in there, of course. And that will give our face to our drawers. And then of course, then we're gonna go back and we'll put some handles on here, some handles on these at the end. That's pretty much it for right now. I picked out what I finally figured out I'm gonna put on the top of this. I'm down to 2 things. I'm thinking about like an MDF board and cutting it down That way I can, it'll sand, it's nice and smooth, I can paint it. It wears pretty good. You know, it's a particle board type board. So I think one of the two, or I'm looking at a melamine covered like fiberboard type thing I might use. I'm not sure yet, but that's what we're going to put on the top. And again, that'll go on and be screwed onto these. That's where we're at. So I'm going to go back now and probably cut this piece of wood I showed you here. Now we'll screw those on there and show you how that's going to go on there. And that's going to give us pretty much the majority of what we need to do. I'm also going to go back in here too. I started on it, I stopped. I said, well, I didn't think I should be working on it now. I'm going to work on everything else. I am going to create a little shelf back there in the back. That's again why we put this piece of wood here. And that's just going to go across and come out probably about 10 inches. Just give a little place to put some stuff underneath the drawer. Just to use the space more so we get longer stuff and little things up top. But again, it gives you a good amount of space. Again, my whole thing is the simplicity of it. Nothing on here is complex. Simple, you know, little magnetic catches there, simple hinges. I did have to use other hardware because I was using the thinner boards. So I did, you know, I save hardware, so I just got 3 and found some thinner screws. They stick through a little bit, but I'm just gonna take the Dremel and I'll just hit the ends of those so they'll just be smooth. So you can just sand around them and everything will be fine. Again, no expensive hardware here, just using this hardboard masonite. I could estimate what I got in it, but a lot of this plywood was extra plywood I had. But if I had to figure it out for what the going rates of plywood is, I probably got, plywood wise, I probably have probably close to 30 bucks. These pieces of plywood and all this stuff, you're talking probably another $15. The piece of hardboard masonite, you're talking about another 30 bucks. So it might, but the whole thing with hardware and stuff like that, I might have 70 bucks, 75 bucks in it. So you make it inexpensive. Well, that's it now. I'll go ahead and get this cut. We'll come back. I'll show you how I'm going to put these on here. What? Okay, you can see I got my face plates cut on here. This one sticks out a little bit. I got to go back and clean this edge up a little bit. It's catching on it. But again, I don't have my handles on there, but now you got your slides on there for your drawers. Lines up and makes everything even with the face, with the thing on the drawers. It's kind of hard to get these open when you don't have any handles. But again, comes out. I got a couple handles I found that I have in there that I'm going to put on here that will go on here on the doors for handles. And I found a couple other little handles that I'm putting here for now. I might get something else. I want to get a handle that's kind of like this, but I think I might just put these on there for now. They don't really need much force to pull them out. So with the magnets on there even. So I think it'll work fine. So I think we're just going to put those probably somewhere in here. Get enough strength to pull them out. And then we'll, of course, we'll sand everything down and paint it. Again, like I said on the top here, I'm not sure if I'm going to go with the MDF or the melamine particle board top, but once I get that decided, that'll go on top. So really, we're at a point where I still got to finish my little shelf inside there. But again, that's basically, I can't figure out what's holding this up. Something in here is holding this up. I got to figure that out. Straighten out, it's going to drive me nuts. But you can see my gaps are a little off here. It gets a little greater up here, but it's not too bad. The gaps here, this drawer is sitting, for some odd reason, sitting a little down on this one end. Not sure why that is either. I just think the slides they got a little play in them, so, but it's not bad. Again, keeping the expense down again was a big thing, and keeping simplicity, you know, was a big factor. So that's pretty much it for now. I gotta go back and like where some of these little screws came through on the tips. I'll just take my Dremel and dry that down, and then we'll just sand it a little bit before we get it all painted up. Yeah, and then we'll take it back over when we get it done and painted. And over there, I'll show you in the garage here where we're gonna take and put it up against the wall there, move everything down there and take that cabinet out. So, yeah, so that's basically, yeah, I gotta figure this out. That's gonna make me crazy. But anyways, that's pretty much it. again, I don't think I have maybe 75 bucks in this thing. I mean, these hinges, you know, were like $3 for two sets of, about $6 for two sets of hinges. The little magnet things I got inside there, they're like $1.50 a piece. You know, then again, most of this plywood is what I had, but if you did figure out like buying the plywood, I'd say probably, I don't think you'd have 70 bucks in it. You might have 50 bucks in it, so whatever. Whole idea is make it functional, make it work good, simplicity, and just fairly simple to put together. I mean, there's nothing complex about this. You're making boxes, you know, gluing and nailing everything just to add added strength to it. So it will be durable. I mean, it's strong. It's just sitting there on top of its base right now, but yeah, I think it's going to hold up pretty good. So we'll come back and try to finish this up maybe tomorrow. Get all the handles on and everything, get it sanded, and I'll fix this little part here. And yeah, we'll try to get that done tomorrow. Today's Saturday, tomorrow will be Sunday, so we'll try to see if we can get that finished up. So we'll see that again tomorrow. Back again. I can see I got everything done pretty much. I mean, basic, just sanding, painting. I got my handles on for my drawers. See, everything slides nice. The handles on here. Again, got our magnets on there so everything closes nice. Again, try to keep it simple as possible. Said it many times. You know, like these slide, just a nice little thing to make it not the expensive hardware. Again, and like I said on here, just simple. I mean, from the side, you know, just simple, basic box style hinges over here. Nothing too fancy. I don't know how much time I got in, and I just done this like 3-4 days in a row, or 3 or 4 weekends in a row, but you can basically see what it looks like. And then what'll happen, it'll come up over here eventually, and we're gonna go up here where this white thing's gonna come out, and this is gonna slide down, and it's gonna take this spot right in here, put it right up against the wall back here. But now I gotta do all the fun stuff, paint it, sand it down real good, paint it, and then we'll get it put in place. Also gonna put back in the back here, I'm gonna take and put a shelf in the back section here. I really can't see that, but see, it's so deep. I wanted to take and come and bring a little shelf, you know, up about this high, coming out about 10 to 12 inches. Just get a little something you can use there. So I'm gonna add that back in. So basically that's the whole build there. Pretty easy to do. I think once I get it in there and get everything rearranged and stuff, eventually we'll make another one, extend that further out and just butt them up against each other. Material wise, it's the base, everything, like the base and the frame, everything is all 3/4 inch plywood. This is 3/8 with a finished side on it. Then our drawer at the bottom of our thing and our slides is made out of that hardboard or masonite, whatever you want to call it. That's essentially pretty much it. You know, it's all pretty. I didn't get that on there very good, did I? I gotta get that screwed on a little tighter. Again, just simple hardware. A couple little magnetic, you know, catches there. This little box, simple hinges. So it just keeps it without, you know, the fancy hardware, without the fancy slides. You know, like I said before, I probably have in the build, you know, probably, I don't know, 60 bucks, 60, 70 bucks. So not bad, nice and sturdy. You know, once we get our base and we get them all connected, it's even gonna firm it more, and then it'll be screwed into the studs on the wall there, on the back there. So that'll sturdy that up a little bit, even more so. So yeah, that's it. Something you could do it yourself. Nothing fancy. I don't have fancy tools. Pretty simple. Just make good square. Make sure you get good square cuts is the big thing. You know, make sure everything's got a good edge to it. Make sure you check and make sure your box at the beginning. Once that box is squared and good, if you get it out of square, it's going to make everything hard from there on. So and that'll make everything stay, you know, pretty true all through the build. Once I get done and figure out what I'm gonna put on the counter and get that done, I'll come back and shoot a little video, probably like a call to part 2 or something, when I put it into place, and then kind of show you what it looks like once it's all painted up and everything. So we'll hit that down the road. So well, thanks for joining us and watching. You know, if you like what we do here on the channel, we're not trying to, you know, do anything fancy. We're just trying to do things around the house, around the homestead, you know, build stuff, grow stuff, cook stuff. So if you do like that, enjoy watching us, you know, hit that, smash that subscribe button down there. You can turn the notification on down there, and that'll give you a hint, a little update that we have posted something. Hit that like button also. The likes help us out, you know, for the channel. If you have any comments or ideas or questions, you know, if you do put something on there, I'll check it and get back to you with a response. Maybe help you with something maybe you're trying to do, or a question on something I did, or an idea how to do something better. I'm no expert. So thanks for watching the video, folks, and have a great day.